Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. We're still riding high after that victory over Everton. So if you're not new around here, or you are new around here is more of what I was supposed to say, but we roll with intros here on GBFC. If you're new around here, make sure you're subscribed. And if you can, hit the like button before we get into anything else on today's video. It really helps me out. Today, we've got 3 pieces of Chelsea news, all of which are on differing levels of interest in terms of positive, negative, do we like this, don't we like this. 2 of them are very positive, and 1 of them is ever so slightly questionable, and I think it is a bit of a worry that after 11 games under Thomas Tuchel, I think it's time we actually spoke about this one, and reports are coming out now regarding Christian Pulisic being wanted by Bayern Munich, Liverpool and Manchester United. But story number 1 today, I think we're going to finish on the Pulisic story. Story number 1 is a Chelsea centre-back who has managed to knock out Cristiano Ronaldo's Juventus in a Champions League last 16 two-legged tie. If you didn't see the bedlam in Juventus last night in Turin, where Porto go through against Juve on away goals, Juventus exiting the Champions League in the last 16 for the 2nd consecutive year, Malang Sarr has been a big mainstay in the Porto defence this season, and they're into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So, first of all, congratulations to the Chelsea defender. He's having a very good season, and the reason I wanted to talk about it is because there's a lot of talk at the moment about Chelsea buying defenders. There's a lot of talk about the improved performances from particularly Andreas Christensen, the Danish Maldini, and of course, Agent Rudiger as well. So when you add Malang Sarr into that conversation, where do we think Malang Sarr could fit in to Chelsea's plans next season? It's looking more and more likely that Fikayo Tomori, who's on loan at AC Milan, will in fact be sold by Chelsea this summer. So the fact we've got another centre-half at the club who's out on loan and is now knocking Ronaldo out the Champions League, it certainly fills me with a lot of confidence that even if we don't spend big on a centre-half this summer, there is an abundance of talented players that we've got coming through the club. You look at Sarr, you look at Mbayamba, who's young and in the development squad. He's been out injured for most of this year. You've got Ethan Ampadu, who can also do a job, who's started to really perform now at Sheffield United. And of course, you've got Swansea's loanee, Mark Guehi, who's been arguably the best centre-back in the Championship this season. Where does Malang Sarr fit in? I think, again, it'll probably be another loan next season. Maybe, if we see even more of him in the latter stages of the Champions League and he does very well, then Chelsea might consider even bringing him back next season. Let me know where you stand in the comments. Story number 2 is one that actually really excites me because it's regarding Chelsea potentially being interested in signing an Inter Milan wingback who is an incredibly versatile defender. He's 22 years old. He has brilliant stats in terms of goals and assists for his age. Achraf Hakimi. He's at Inter Milan right now, formerly of Real Madrid. 6 goals and 5 assists in 25 Serie A games this season. 11 goal contributions in 25 games is pretty outrageous for a fullback. Not only that, but he can play on the right, he can play centrally, and he can also play over on the left as well. He's predominantly better on the right or the left, not so much in centre-back, but he can pretty much do anything. And if you look at the Chelsea side that we have now, I think Hakimi would actually be a dream signing. If we also look at whether or not this might or might not happen, Inter Milan are in a bit of financial turmoil right now. Hakimi is also potentially wanted by Arsenal, so there would be competition, but I think selling the Chelsea project, particularly the way that we're playing right now and the lineup we have under Tuchel, I think Hakimi could very much be interested in a move to Chelsea. Inter Milan will probably need to offload players this summer. 40 million, when you think about some of the prices that are thrown around for defenders these days, you look at Man City splashing 40 odd million on Danilo a couple of seasons ago. That didn't work out so well. They ended up getting a good deal with Cancelo, but still, I think Hakimi's a very good player. 22 years old, has a brilliant attacking threat. And the reason I think this could work for Chelsea and why I think it could actually be a very good signing, it's not just the fact that Hakimi can play on the right or the left, so it gives us a multitude of options as to where he could fit into the 11. I also think, we know that Azpilicueta has had a very good season, and don't for one moment think that I'm looking at this as like an Azpi immediate replacement. I think Azpi is an absolute no-brainer to start every game that he can if he's fit for Chelsea right now. But eventually, when Azpilicueta does need to play less football because he is getting older, Reece James is incredibly young, he's incredibly strong, and we could see a rotation between Hakimi playing right wing back and Reece James fitting in the centre back position as a right centre back in this back three if we are to proceed with the formation that we've currently got under Thomas Tuchel. I think it could be a very strong one for Chelsea in order to bring in a very talented wing-back who can actually do a lot going forward, a bit like Reece James can, but the size of Reece James, and I think the ability he does have for a standing tackle, we saw it against Richarlison the other night as well, I think that could be a great way for Chelsea to utilise some of James's strengths. I know it would also mean that there's less chance of him putting those crosses into the box, but as we've seen with the way we're playing under Thomas Tuchel, Azpilicueta is currently getting forward very well for Chelsea as well. So as an overlapping centre-half, Reece James is exactly who you want in that position. So Achraf Hakimi, I love the idea of this one. It's been reported by the Daily Mail. Chelsea will have some competition though from Arsenal, but you know, they're just a mid-table club from North London who I don't think we should be that worried about. Although now if Hakimi signs for Arsenal, I know this will be just plated up and put on the internet, but I don't care. I literally don't give a flying donkey. We move into the final story of today's video, and it does regard Captain America, Mr. Christian Pulisic. Now, we're going to start off with a couple of statistics that support why, at the moment, Thomas Tuchel is not starting Christian Pulisic. I know that Pulisic is a very popular player amongst the Chelsea fan base. Whenever I don't pick Christian Pulisic in a match preview, I get stick for it. Whenever I say anything bad about Pulisic, even if he has actually been pretty bad statistically, I get stick for it. So I want it to be very clear that I'm just reporting the news here. I'll give my opinion as to what I want to happen, but I'm just reporting things. I'm not saying that I want Pulisic to be gone just because he's only got 2 goals and 1 assist in 25 appearances this season, which, by the way, for an attacking player, really isn't the best stats. Whether you're the biggest Christian Pulisic fan or not, there's absolutely no denying that in terms of levels of output, 2 goals, 1 assist in 25 appearances this season for Chelsea Football Club is not the kind of levels that we would be expecting as fans, the club would be expecting, and I'm sure Christian would be expecting a lot better from himself as well. Why has this happened? Christian Pulisic, after he came back from COVID last year, when everybody came back, he was one of the best players in the Premier League. He's still very young, and there's absolutely no denying I fully back Christian Pulisic, and I 110% believe that he will succeed at Chelsea, or if he does go anywhere else, I still think he's going to be one of the best attacking midfielders in the world, or wingers, whatever you want to see him as predominantly. I think Christian Pulisic is going to become one of the very best in the game. However, the way it's looking for him at the moment, there's been 11 matches under Tuchel, and Pulisic has not started a single Premier League game, which a lot of people thought he would be one of the guaranteed starters when Tuchel came in, because Tuchel managed him before at Borussia Dortmund, and they've got a history together. So the fact that that relationship never really materialised on the pitch for Chelsea has a lot more down to the tactical side of things that Tuchel wants the Chelsea team to implement right now, and maybe he doesn't consider Pulisic one of those kind of players to do the jobs that Ziyech has been doing, what Mount has been doing, Havertz has been doing, Callum Hudson-Odoi, players that are competing for the kind of position that Christian Pulisic would have in this side. I think it would be very foolish to think that Christian Pulisic could do the same kind of job that we've seen Hudson-Odoi do over on the right-hand side. I don't think defensively Christian Pulisic could do the whole game just going up and down, considering how injury-prone he's been. I think it would be a recipe for disaster if he was put in that left wing-back role, particularly when Chilwell and Alonso are doing so well in those positions. Now, regards to these reports about interest in Christian Pulisic, at the moment, it's not like teams are bidding for Christian Pulisic to try and get Chelsea to sell him. It's very much a case of Pulisic isn't playing, he's a very good young player, teams are monitoring whether or not Chelsea would be willing, or at least interested, to sell him this summer. And the names that are coming out at the moment are Manchester United, Liverpool and Bayern Munich, who would be supposedly interested in taking Christian Pulisic off of Chelsea's hands. There's a couple of ways to look at this. I'm going to give my opinion as the second reason, because the first one is the justifiable reason as to why we should sell Pulisic. At the moment, he doesn't really fit into what Tuchel's trying to do. Maybe he does, because Thomas Tuchel's come out and said that he's been a bit harsh on Christian Pulisic. And I think as a result of making those comments in the media, we're going to see Pulisic probably start the game against Leeds on Saturday lunchtime, which I actually hope he does, because I've really wanted to see Pulisic in the side. It's just not happened. However, after Havertz's form, Mount's form, maybe it's Timo Werner who drops out and Havertz goes as the most advanced striker. I think that's what we could see. Find out in my match preview on Friday. Christian Pulisic could still sell for a very large amount of money. However, I really do not want this to happen. I think at the moment, it would be easy to jump the gun and say Pulisic isn't playing. He's probably not very happy about that, obviously, because he's a young player that wants to be starting Premier League football. He isn't. I think Christian Pulisic, as a character, the mentality that he has, means that he is more than willing to drive forward in training, to learn the nuance tactically that Tuchel requires him to learn in order for him to be justified in starting matches for Chelsea Football Club. I also feel as though it would be crazy after 11 games under Tuchel for Chelsea to be just thinking, no, Pulisic's not needed, he doesn't fit the system, because even though we're currently playing with this three at the back, I don't think we're going to see this forever. I think there will be adaptations where we do need a bit more natural attacking width going forward. And I think there's certainly a role for Pulisic in that position if it isn't going to be in a central area playing as a number 10. So I certainly feel as though there is a massive future for Christian Pulisic at Chelsea Football Club. I really want him to succeed. I think he's a brilliant player. And it's only a matter of time before we see him get back into form. And I think with Tuchel's comments about being a little bit unfair on Pulisic recently, I think we're going to see him get that chance, and hopefully he grabs it with both hands against Leeds United, puts in a display that makes him an undroppable Chelsea player again. Do I think this will happen? Yes, I do. I just think he needs to be given the time. The question is, who drops out as a result for that at the moment? And my answer to that would probably be, for the game against Leeds, bring Timo Werner out of the side, Havertz go more advanced, Mason Mount can play behind Christian Pulisic as a false 9. We'll talk about that a lot more in my match preview. Let me know your thoughts on what you think should happen for Pulisic in the comments down below. And I want to say a massive thank you once again for all of the incredible support we've had recently on GBFC. We've now got 4 series around each game: preview, live stream, 6 things, player ratings, and it just makes the whole experience like a package every week. And I've been really loving you guys' response to it. And I also want to say that GBFC Selects, the game is now live for the match against Leeds this weekend. So make sure you get your predictions in early. The questions are all ready. It's free to enter. You can win £1,000. We've had various different winners over the course of the last couple of weeks, and it seems to be going down very nicely indeed. So link to that is in the description. Be sure to be 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Be gamble aware. Thank you guys for watching again. I will catch you all tomorrow with a brand new video. See you guys there.